So what is going on, guys? I am BlackOpsAmazing. Welcome back to another zombies video. So today we are going to be taking a look at a new cipher, or should I say another one that I haven't covered yet within Gorod Krovi. Now, I've known about this since basically the start of the game, since it was discovered, but I've held back on making this video because for me this is very confused and I don't fully understand what's going on. But not only that, we don't have really too much information about what this cipher is talking about. So for me to make a video on it straight away was pretty difficult. But now, as we've gathered more information about Gorod Krovi and just older maps and I've had time to think, I feel I can now make this video for you guys. But there are still some things that are a little bit itchy if you get what I mean. Hopefully you understand. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. It should be an awesome one. Anyway, let's get straight into this. So these ciphers can be found, obviously, within Gorod Krovi. If you want to check them out for yourself, you can see these ciphers over on the COD Zombies forums. But these have already been solved by a load of different guys over on the forums, so I will link it down in the description. These are the ciphers on screen now, and when decoded, this is what they read. My name is Pablo, or at least I think it is, or was. I don't know anymore. I have been locked away and held prisoner in this cell for many months by German scientists. They keep experimenting on me, pumping me full of blue liquid. I think it's responsible for the repeated visions I have been having, which I swear look and feel real. In this vision, my name is Pablo Marinus, and I am a knight coming back from the Crusades. I've been fight in a great battle against strange demon-like creatures who are trying to devour the earth. At one point, it appears I am trapped in the tentacles of a great three-headed beast when suddenly 4 knights decimate it with magic elemental staffs, saving me from certain death. But there are otherworldly creatures that fight on our side against the demons. The creepy thing is that the sigils on the tunics resemble the ones I noticed on the stones here at the castle as I was being brought into my cell. I just hope I can eventually find a way to escape this. So there was the first cipher, which you will admit is an absolute mess. There is so much information in that. But before we go on to explain, there is another cipher that links in. And this is what it says. While I consider myself to be a brave king in the battle, I would tell you, my son, that those 4 were the bravest warriors I have ever seen. I had the privilege to fight alongside them in the great battle many years ago, where we defeated the creatures from beyond and the Dead Eaters. They disappeared, after we claimed victory never to be heard from again. The last thing they told me was to build my castle here, in the very location before they disappeared. So those are the 2 ciphers we have in Gorod Krovi. So as you can see, this relates back to Der Eisendrache, where we last heard of Pablo, the Mexican test subject of Group 935. We know in the original timeline he was deceased. He was killed after Richtofen cut out his spleen, but you can see from this he was captured by Group 935 and taken to Griffin Castle as Group 935's test subject. They have been experimenting on him and pumping him full of blue liquid, which we know is 115. And because of this, Pablo says he's been having repeated visions, which he swears look real, and this is because these visions he has been having are actually ones that took place many years ago. In fact, this one that he is talking about took place millenniums of years ago, because it's about the great battle between the Apothicons, the Keepers, and our 4 Primus. In one of his visions, Pablo is a knight coming back from the Crusade, where he fought in a great battle against strange demon-like creatures who are the Apothicons. As we know, they were trying to devour the earth. This great battle that he is talking about can actually be seen through pictures that you can find in Der Eisendrache, framed on the wall. If I remember correctly, there are 4 different paintings that tell you the story of the great battle between the Wolf King and the Apothicons. But Pablo says in his vision at one point, it appears that he was doomed, because he was trapped in the tentacles of a great 3-headed beast, when suddenly 4 knights decimate it with magic elemental staffs, which saved Pablo from certain death. And we know these 4 knights are our 4 Primus characters, or our 4 heroes that we see in this image from Origins. These were the guys that came in and saved Pablo in his vision. He says there are otherworldly creatures that fight on our side against the demons, which we know are the Keepers. And the creepy thing is that the sigils on their tunics resemble the ones I noticed on the stones here at the castle as I was being brought into my cell. And what he is referring to are these formations that you see on the rocks. In Der Eisendrache Castle, you see the same pattern on the chest of the Keepers. And he finishes by saying, I just hope I can eventually find a way to escape this. So that is extremely freaking interesting. That is Pablo having a vision of the exact events that took place those millenniums of years ago in that great battle. But the second cipher for me gets just a whole lot more juicy. The information that this gives us is from the Wolf King. This, I believe, is from the Wolf King, the same exact king that we see throughout the paintings, the story that we get told in Der Eisendrache. He says, "Well, I consider myself to be a brave king in the battle. I will tell you, my son, that those four were the bravest warriors I have ever seen. I had the privilege to fight alongside them in the great battle many years ago, where we defeated the creatures from beyond." And once again, we know the four bravest warriors he is referring to is our four Primus, the ones that used the staffs to defeat the Apothicons. He said the Dead Eaters disappeared after we claimed victory, never to be heard from again. The last thing they told me was to build my castle here in this very location before they disappeared. So that's exactly what the king did, but this ending part for me is a little bit confusing. But the paintings in order first show us the Wolf King sitting on his throne with his two dogs either side of him. The next image shows him going into this great battle. We then see, just as he talks about in this cipher, the location of the great battle, and as you see in this, the king has built his castle, or what I would presume is the castle that the king has built. Then in the fourth and final image, we see a great warrior who has lost his life. As you see, the Wolf King, just as he was told, built his castle in this exact location that he was told. But if you think about this, and this is where it can get extremely confusing, Pablo, although he says it was only a vision, but we know he has been a very important character in our zombie storyline since the very beginning. Reese. In fact, before that, in Origins, Richtofen actually says Pablo's journal has been the most valuable source of information for finding element 115. Before this, we had no information as to who Pablo was, but it's clear that he's not a regular person that Group 935 picked out. In fact, Pablo is a keeper. His vision wasn't just a vision. In fact, he was there during the Great Battle many millenniums of years ago, fighting alongside Primus, the Keepers, and against the Apothicons. If you look at this image we find in Der Eisendrache, which is a projector on the wall of the castle, you see this is a deceased image of Pablo, but what's interesting is on his chest, or whatever body part that is, I'm not really too sure, but you can see the Black Sun logo. You can see the same exact sigil on Pablo's body that you see on the Keepers and of 4 Primus. So in fact, Pablo was at the Great Battle. Group 935 have not picked him because he was a random person. He was in fact of much significance, and in fact this makes him one of the most important characters in Call of Duty Zombies. The fact that this is not only a vision he is having, but he was there those millenniums of years ago during that great battle is so important. And in fact, if you take a look on the wall you find in Shadows of Evil in the crypt where we awaken the Apothicons, you see there is an image of a knight, and this knight is Pablo. We have our 4 Primus, we have a few other knights in there fighting alongside them, but the main one sticking out his sword fighting against the Apothicons, this is Pablo. He was there during the Great Battle, and as you see in this timeline, he's been captured by Group 935, and they've taken him to the castle to experiment on him, and was probably to try and extract the secrets of him and learn more about what Pablo really is. So there we go, guys. Thank you for watching. I've held back on this because there are just quite a few different ways to interpret this, and it's not extremely clear, but hopefully you've enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching. Drop a like rating as always if you have, that'd be appreciated. Make sure you are subscribed for more videos, and this is going to be so important for Revelations, the end of the beginning of the end. If in Revelations we are going to be seeing something of this great battle, then there is no doubt that we are going to be seeing something once again of Pablo Marinus. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.